Hey y'all, and welcome back. And to those who are new to this channel, I say a big old welcome to y'all too, because you have stumbled upon Southern Cryptid. I know it sounds a little strange, but bear with me, there will be cryptids about. It's just taking a little more time for the research. So, but enough of that. I'm telling you, that research is doing my head in, so I have to take little breaks every so often on it because there's a lot of stuff I'm trying to go through and get where my argument can be pointed across, and it has to be all done scientifically. Anyway, just let y'all know we are reviewing and reacting to another slapped ham video, and this one is titled Scary and Weird Videos That Are Hard to Explain. Well, let's see how hard it is actually to explain some of these. I mean, if they are hard to explain on some cases, then you know what? Slapped ham, I commend you. You have done your duty. So with that, let's go on, shall we?
Reddit user preference No5512 recently uploaded some chilling footage that's left the internet divided. In the post, they explained that the clips were filmed by caretakers at their uncle's shared home, a residence for people with disabilities. The user's father is convinced it's the ghost of their deceased grandfather haunting the uncle, but the uploader isn't so sure, feeling the phenomena are too aggressive to be a benign spirit. Then another clip shows something eerie happening in the kitchen. But perhaps the creepiest clip of all shows this happening in the living room. Some commenters are convinced these are carefully staged hoaxes, citing the ease of faking such footage with clever camera angles and hidden wires. Yet others aren't so sure, claiming this could be the real deal.
Now, I know I come off with some good little kind of comments that come through sometimes with stuff like this. But some of these right here do have me scratch my head. I mean, I have had some recent events happen to me while at work, and I seen it right in front of my eyes, very similar to how this was going on and this was happening. I mean, you don't just have a box slide off of a certain stable level area with nobody around right in front of your eyes. This is a bit strange, and it changes some of the things you see with some of this stuff. So this one right here is, like I said, very interesting. There are no, I don't see or sense any wires or anything like that going on. The only weird thing to me is the lack of response from the videotaper of the incidents. So, I mean, like for me, when I saw that box go and there was somebody nearby, I'm like, did you see that? I mean, come on. There was a little, kind of unnerving to you. You're going to make a comment. Unless this is just almost like a daily occurrence. And, hey, you know what? I'm just like used to it. Let me just document this. This is like whatever for me. Unless you have something like that, you're always going to have some sort of reaction to it. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing that puts me on to having this as a verge of being a hoax. I can't rightly explain maybe how they were doing it, especially with the picture on the door, unless they just had it already coiled up before and then, kept in more of like a rolled setting instead of laying flat for a long period of time, and then they use some really crappy dollar store tape or something to put it on that door, and it just kind of crinkled back up into the form that it had been in prior, which would be rolled up. Now that would be about the only time I think that I could see something like that happening right there with that. And other than that, I really don't see wires or anything else. So my mind wants to go hoax. Just a simple reason, because of the lack of reaction from these people. Now, if you disagree with me about their reactions, then leave it in the comments below. But I'm just gonna stick with my thing. I don't see how it's a hoax. I can't explain except for the picture on the door, but my gut's telling me it's a hoax. Now, let's move on to the next one, shall we?
Jake Paul recently made headlines by defeating former boxing champ Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. by unanimous decision in a tense 10-round bout at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. While the fight itself attracted a massive audience both online and in person, another unexpected detail captured everyone's attention, sparking a wave of conspiracy theories.
Jake wins his fight. Jake won his fight against... That's crazy because it's still going on.
Let's go, Jake!
Midway through the fight, fans noticed something deeply bizarre occurring online. Curious viewers who Googled the match were stunned to find Google's Gemini AI already declaring Jake Paul the winner, even though the live fight was still unfolding in the background. This discrepancy quickly ignited claims that the entire match was rigged or scripted, with the outcome potentially decided long before the final bell had rung. Skeptics argue it was just an AI glitch, but conspiracy-minded fans aren't so convinced. Could this bizarre AI slip-up reveal a secret behind high-profile boxing events? Was Jake Paul's victory predetermined, or was it just an innocent tech malfunction? As always, I'll leave this one for you to decide. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below.
Jake wins his fight. Jake won his fight against... That's crazy because it's still going on.
Let's go, Jake!
Don't you just love how when we find out that things are rigged, people will try to say that it's conspiracy minded? Now, if y'all have known any boxing history, especially back in the earlier days and everything, people were paid to take a dive on these things. So it's not much of a leap or a big conspiracy, as they were trying, as Slapped Ham had mentioned in this, that this could be a possible rigged bout. You know, let's be honest. How many of y'all seen in the past where the underdog has defeated the all-time champion? There's been several situations and stuff like that. And, hate to break it to y'all, wrestling bouts and everything, like WWE and everything, all of that scripted. So, to think a boxing match isn't scripted as well, especially when this person did not become famous by becoming a boxer to begin with, like George Foreman, Mike Tyson, Cesar Chavez Jr., a whole bunch of other names that I could name but will not go on to because it will take very long to go through. For him to win against some of these people, does it take a giant leap to say that there could be a possibility of rigging going on? Let me know in the comments below if y'all think I'm just sitting here blowing smoke out my ass or if I'm telling the truth on this. And let's move on to the next.
Completamente solo, siempre que estoy solo.
In February 2021, TikTok user DJ Kuna shared a spine-chilling series of clips. The uploader explains he had been working alone, doing some renovations in an empty house, frequently encountering mysterious footsteps and noises, especially after dark. Determined to capture proof, he starts filming, and what he caught is truly eerie.
Siempre que trabajo se escuchan pasos. Entonces, cuando me meto acá,
In the first clip, as he describes the strange phenomena directly to camera, loud, unmistakable footsteps can clearly be heard creaking across the upper landing.
Se escucha que alguien camina arriba. Y está pasando aquí arribita. Está pasando arribita. Y no hay nada.
Despite immediately investigating, he finds no one else present in the building.
Tilas. Vengo acá hay un mueble que va a entrar en el baño que está ahí al fondo, que todavía no hay nada.
He then takes viewers on a tense tour, pointing out multiple empty rooms, hidden spaces, and even a concealed attic, ruling out any possibility of another person lurking inside.
Ahí está. Una máquina, un calentón. Por si decían que hay alguien viviendo acá. Creo.
According to local rumors, the house was the scene of a tragic event. A woman had reportedly passed away in one of the bedrooms after battling a prolonged illness. Following her death, her grieving husband quickly sold the house. Adding to the tension, the uploader notes that other workers have become increasingly reluctant to visit the property. The chilling events culminate dramatically when some eerie activity is caught on camera.
Donde se escuchan cosas. Ay, güey. Ese se acaba de abrir ahorita.
The freezer door slowly opens entirely on its own.
Ay, güey. Ese se acaba de abrir ahorita.
So what exactly is haunting this house? Could the lingering spirit of the woman who once lived and died there still be wandering its halls? Or is there something else, darker perhaps, trapped within?
Se escucha que alguien camina arriba. Y está pasando aquí arribita.
Now, I do like me a good haunted house, whether faked or not. I mean, it's always interesting, you know. But this one here, I find interesting because, you know, they do mention that the previous owner's wife had passed away after a prolonged illness and sold the house. And so they're in there doing renovations, as this gentleman was mentioning in the video, and that he's in there by himself, and that you can hear the walking up and down on that landing above him. And it honestly sounds really, really extremely close to him. I mean, sure, yeah, there's nothing in there, so things could echo, especially on hardwood floors. I mean, even though those are more laminate flooring, but, you know, it can still cause an echo. But the way it came softly at first and then got louder as if it was over his head. And you would have seen shadows or something, especially with the way the lighting is in it. You would have been able to see somebody if they were like playing around and they were making a hoax joke and everything like that. And what gets me is the one area that you can tell that's not renovated. That's the area with the refrigerator. I mean, look at that flooring. You can tell that flooring's been there for a while because that pattern is not used in newer, more renovated homes. So yeah, that area, and he's going down into it with the stairs, and then all of a sudden that freezer door opens. Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, if there was a loose floorboard, that could happen with cabinets and everything like that. But the ceiling gasket on a freezer would not allow, unless it was really ragged, which it didn't appear to look when he had closed it and got close enough to the freezer so you could see the gasket on it. It looked pretty intact, so I doubt it would have popped open because of loose floorboards. But besides the point, him going down the stairs would not have caused that to open. And I didn't visibly see a string or anything like that. And there was no way somebody could have pulled that to, pulled that open and us not be able to see them. So I thought this one was a very interesting video, and the fact that he also stated that a lot of people are getting a little unnerved and don't want to work on the house anymore. It sounds more like nothing dark to me personally. It sounds more of a classic case of a person who passed away in the home, and then they're like, hey, what the hell are you doing to my house? I didn't tell you to come and fix it. I liked it just the way it was. You know, something like that. You always have, especially in older homes and things like that, or some homes that people have passed away in, you do hear of situations like that with the new homeowner doing renovations and everything like that, that weird, strange things happen. So, you know, it would make perfect sense, and it kind of aligns with the whole trope of renovating older houses. So I really can't say whether this is real or a hoax. I mean, he does seem really sincere when he's talking, and, you know, you hear him. He's like, look, there's somebody walking up there. And he's like, listen. So it's kind of, you can tell he's excited, but he's also a little bit of a nervous excitement, you know? So I want to kind of chalk this up to being quite possibly, you know, something that could definitely happen. Whether this is true, this video itself is true or not, I will say that situations more often than not do happen when people are renovating the home, especially an older home where one of the previous owners had passed away in. So, you know, with that in mind, if y'all think something else, let me know in the comments. If y'all have had something like this happen to you before, hey, leave those in the comments too. I love hearing about other people's stories. I know I tell a lot of stories myself, so I'd love to hear everybody else's stories if they have something similar to this. So let's move on to the next one though.
Influencers Brie Olsen and Santos have recently announced they're dating, delighting fans with joint TikTok and Instagram videos. But among their new content, viewers have noticed something strange unfolding. Brie, a 26-year-old Texan TikToker known for her beauty tutorials and lip syncs, and her new boyfriend Santos were recently hosting a casual live stream from their apartment when their camera caught something eerie.
With Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan first came out, I saw them in theaters. That's how young I was. It was in the early 2000s.
That's so true.
Really?
Initially, viewers thought a TikTok gift, a virtual cowboy hat, was glitching out, appearing in thin air behind them rather than on their heads.
Really?
But upon closer inspection, the footage reveals something far more unsettling.
That's how young I was. It was in the early 2000s.
That's so true.
Really?
Moments before the hat materializes, a ghostly face can clearly be seen hovering over Brie's shoulder, as if the platform's AI had recognized it as a real person and placed the virtual hat accordingly. Things only got creepier in another live stream.
30 minutes. Jen, I love you.
Babe? That thing just rolled over there by itself.
That's scary.
A trolley in the background suddenly rolls completely on its own.
Jen, I love you.
Babe? That thing just rolled over there by itself.
But perhaps the most disturbing moment came in yet another clip.
Used all of it. A month's supply in one night.
Hide the chips from Ash. We can hide everything. Right.
The bean dip's gone.
Bean dip's gone.
As Brie and Santos chat casually to the camera, a small child can be seen darting past quickly. Shockingly, it was later confirmed there were no children in the apartment at that time.
Hide the chips from Ash. We can hide everything. Right.
The bean dip's gone.
Bean dip's gone.
Damn.
Viewers flooded the comments, claiming the mysterious child is a ghost that's clearly haunting their new home. Skeptics, however, aren't buying it. Given the couple's influencer status, many suspect these eerie events are part of an elaborate publicity stunt. But what do you think? Are Brie Olsen and Santos genuinely experiencing a haunting, or is this just viral marketing? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below.
Used all of it. A month's supply in one night.
I know I might catch a lot of crap with this one in the comments, but I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. As soon as I heard two influencers dating and haunting happening in this apartment of theirs and everything like that, I can automatically just gut instinct say this is a hoax. Just simply because it's going to create more it's going to create more revenue for them in general. If we sit there and say that, oh, look, this, my house is haunted, I know it sounds like a stretch, because there are a lot of people who do deal with the paranormal who are, public figures and things like that. So, and that's their bread and butter. But this, if you know, it's just, I know, like I said, I'm going to probably catch a lot of crap in the comments. But like I say, it's not a fact, but I feel 100 on this, and I do believe that this one here is a hoax. So let's move on to the next one, shall we?
Reddit user KeyLawfulness5212 recently shared an old photograph that's left their family disturbed and seeking answers. The post explains that this unsettling photo was taken by the user's mother on an ordinary day at a quiet park in New Jersey. What's immediately striking about this photo, taken just 3 months before the tragic events of September 11th, is the clear view of the World Trade Center's iconic Twin Towers in the distant background. But the image contains something even more chilling. As the user's young brother plays innocently in the park, a mysterious figure looms ominously in the background. The family insists there was absolutely no one else around at the time, leaving this entity entirely unexplained. Closer inspection reveals the figure to have a distorted grey face. According to the user's mother, the photo carried such a sinister feeling that she disposed of the physical copy and negatives, convinced the image harboured negative energy. After years of searching, the digital version finally resurfaced, reigniting their fears. Could the unsettling presence of this figure, captured alongside the Twin Towers mere months before 9/11, hold some kind of dark significance? Was it perhaps an omen, an eerie premonition of the tragedy soon to unfold? Many commenters have debated fiercely, with some attributing the figure's appearance to a simple motion blur or photographic glitch. Others, however, remain convinced this disturbing presence was something supernatural, perhaps even prophetic.
Now, this clip here, of course, is not a real full clip, but a photograph. And, just hearing the fact that they got rid of the original and the copy, and then they were able to magically resurface a digital copy of this particular picture is a little strange to me. I mean, considering the fact that this was 2001, so about over 24 years ago, this had been taken. So, I mean, I don't recall being able to digitize it. I mean, yeah, you could have done, got the picture developed, put it on a CD. I mean, back then, yeah, you could still been able to do that, because I remember digital cameras actually were starting to become a thing back then, and a friend of mine had one, and what we used to do is take pictures on it, play around on the computer, and then print them out on their parents' printer at home and everything. I mean, they look really crappy, so of course you have image distortion and everything like that within the camera, because the pixelation was just kind of crappy back in the day. And that could be also said the same for a digital copy, especially one that's over 21 years old, and finally resurfacing that, there's going to be some deterioration in the camera. And also, it could have just been, like I say, that was 21 years ago. I might say, oh, nobody was near me. Nobody was in the car with me when this happened. But 21 years ago, I can't remember that long ago. I could have had Jerry in the car with me the whole time when I went to go to a store, and had something run out in front of me, and I nearly had a car accident. But I could have said I was by myself. Come to find out, Jerry was there the whole time. 21 years is a long, long time to try to recall something 100% specific, you know? I mean, it's one thing if you had, say, like your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, somebody in the vehicle with you, then you would remember that because it's something that's a constant in your life. So what I'm trying to get at is taking a picture randomly in a park in New Jersey a little bit before 9/11 happened. You're not going to remember. There could have been somebody whose other child, their child is playing in another part of the park, and the person happened to be in that area, and you just don't recall them being there. You're so focused on your own child, you're not going to know if Tina's over nearby or Billy's nearby. You're not going to pay attention to that. You're going to pay attention to your child. So just the simple fact that there was a person within the picture that they don't recall remembering them being there, especially after 21 years, you know, that's something that you can't sit there and take to heart. You just got to take something like that with a grain of salt. And as for the way the face looks, that's just a simple motion blur, in my opinion. So if you don't think that, you know, drop something in the comments below if you disagree with what I happen to say, or if you agree with what I have to say. Either way, we could just keep the conversation going with it. Let's move on to the next.
Reddit user Rip8Youth recently tried debunking a viral ghost photo that's been causing quite a stir online, but instead may have accidentally deepened the mystery. According to the post, a group of women gathered to celebrate a friend's birthday with a casual girls-only weekend trip at a lake. To mark the occasion, the group posed by a campfire, capturing the moment on an iPhone live photo. But it's what's lurking quietly on the right-hand side of the image that sent chills down viewers' spines. Clearly visible, peering from behind a blonde woman dressed in camouflage leggings, is the unmistakable face of a child. Grey, pallid, and strikingly out of place, the child appears completely unlike anyone else in the group. No children attended the gathering, and no one in the photo recognized the boy. Even more unsettling is how the child's face doesn't reflect the warm glow from the fire, unlike the rest of the group. Instead, the boy appears cold, dark, and disturbingly out of sync with his surroundings. When the live photo is played back, viewers noted how the iPhone's sticker function, a feature designed to detect faces, completely ignores this eerie presence, suggesting the device couldn't even identify him as a person. Initially skeptical, user Rip8Youth hoped their analysis might debunk the image, but ended up just amplifying its creepiness. Commenters are divided. Is this simply a clever digital manipulation, or could the group have unknowingly captured a genuine ghostly encounter?
Now, I don't rightly recall where I've seen this picture before, because I have seen it. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a little bit of a backstory behind it. Not just that this was a, women's only trip that they were going on and things like that, but more into the local history, supposedly, of the lake that is behind them. And that story goes that years back, there was supposedly a little boy that had drowned in the lake when his family wasn't paying attention. And that supposedly is what they had captured in this picture. Now, I don't know exactly where this is, and I can't rightly remember where I had heard this story from, but I had originally seen this picture. At first, I never seen a zoomed in version of it, so I thought mainly that it would have been maybe like some sort of sense of like pareidolia. You all know what pareidolia is. If you don't, I'll give a little brief summary. Basically, pareidolia is you can see a human characteristics in regular modern day things. Like, oh, I take a picture of a tree with leaves and it looks like there's somebody staring back at you. Simply put, that's what pareidolia is. But now seeing the zoomed in video of it and them doing the little tag thing of trying to add a sticker and everything to the picture, and the sticker thing supposedly is like can attach to what this iPhone verifies as a human. Now, it is a little bit strange, and also a little bit strange that the little boy within the picture is a lot like more grayer, slightly blue. It would lend credence to the backstory of a little child that had passed away due to drowning, correct? Well, I'm still like up in the air about this video now, since now I'm seeing, somebody actually trying to debunk it. But my question is, the person who was trying to debunk the photo, did they also go back and try to do more of the textural, like going deeper into the photo? Now, if you've seen my videos before, you've seen one of these two women in England, and it was like a black cloud that went over the woman in one picture, and in the next picture it wasn't there. So, but people have tried to debunk it, and they went more to a granular texture, going into more like the infrareds and everything of the actual components of the picture. Now, I'd like to know if somebody had did this with this one, because with the story and all this other stuff, which the story is mighty convenient for the person who took this picture, I just like to know more information, more details for this picture, and more the original of the picture. I obviously don't have any of the stuff I could utilize to be able to go in and do all the stuff that needs to be done in that sense, to check the gradients and everything of the picture to ensure that it wasn't like photoshopped in or anything. But what was mighty strange too was, I know how there's some cameras on phones that will actually take kind of like almost in the flow sort of setup with the pictures. So it's kind of weird that he kind of moved when the people moved as well. So I don't know. I really don't know what to make of this one. I mean, let me know what y'all think about in the comments below, and let's move on to the next one.
TikTok user Parakoiron recently shared a quick clip filmed during a quiet night shift at an undisclosed hospital's emergency room. Staff were stunned when they noticed a sign suddenly start to move completely on its own. With no one nearby, the mysterious movement continues steadily for several moments, baffling the night shift crew. However, keen-eyed viewers were quick to point out a possible rational explanation. Some commenters believe the sign is simply positioned above an air conditioning unit, causing it to gently sway in the breeze. Is it just a mundane airflow, or did something paranormal momentarily disturb the emergency room's quiet night? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below.
This one is pretty easy to explain. I pretty much feel like it's kind of self-explanatory. Y'all happen to see that machine with the little LED screen behind the sign that's swinging so crazily, and it has vents there? Yeah, that's an air conditioner, and the staff really honestly did not seem stunned to see it. It seemed more like they were having a good old time. Now, I've had situations like this before, and yeah, it's mostly right around vents and things like that. So yeah, let's move on to the next.
Reddit user Musical Mama 2 recently posted a spine-chilling photograph taken at her brother's wedding back in 2010. The ceremony, held intimately in the couple's Philadelphia apartment, seemed perfectly ordinary at first glance. But upon closer inspection, something truly unsettling emerges. In the background, clearly visible in a wall-mounted mirror, is an eerie grey face, completely out of place compared to everyone else in the room. According to the OP, this mysterious extra face didn't show up in any other wedding photos, only in this one unsettling image. Viewers immediately started theorizing. Could this face belong to a lingering spirit quietly attending the celebration uninvited? Or is there a simpler explanation, perhaps a bizarre trick of reflection or lighting? What do you think? Is this a genuine ghostly visitor or just a photographic anomaly?
And with this picture, we are at the end of our episode. Now, this one is very kind of mundane, kind of like the last clip that we saw with the little video, you know, the air conditioner swinging the sign. Now, you know, people, especially it's a person's big day, especially if it's a family member and you're taking pictures, you're not paying attention to anybody but your family member on this big day, whether it be a wedding or a birthday, you know? So you wouldn't really pay attention to the person who was not your family member, or maybe a distant relation, something like that. You're more focused on the big day. So she said that this face didn't appear in other pictures. Could be the positioning of where the person was sitting and standing. Now, you know, just simply that's the cause of that. And as for the person looking a little bit grayer, it could be that the lighting was a bit different as it seems. This area seems a little bit darker than what we would consider for a regular wedding. Most of the time people have it's more like a bright, airy affair. And the last couple of ones I've went to actually are outdoors, so you know, makes better pictures in my opinion. Besides the point. But yeah, this person who took the picture, the OP of the picture, you know, more than likely wasn't really paying attention to anybody but their relative that was getting married and their relative significant other, because this is a momentous occasion, and of course you want to get it documented on film, right? So your main focus will be on your brother, your sister, whoever it is, and it's not going to be on another party goer. So, in case in point, I feel like this is what this is right here. And like I say, with the person looking a little bit grayer in the picture, it's simply because this is such a dark picture to begin with. Even the bride honestly looks a bit grayer than she should be. Like I say, better lighting, because it looks like a gloomy day out there anyway. And they don't got no curtains on the windows, so they look like they were trying to get a little bit of light in, but it didn't seem to be working. So all this is just a combination of lighting and not paying attention to other people that were in the film shot. Simple as that. I mean, I've taken pictures in broad daylight out in the middle of, you know, different places I've been to, parks and things like that, hiking, and I end up catching a random person, and then I'm like, oh, I don't remember seeing this person. And one of the friends I have that came with me, they were like, oh, yeah, no, I saw them. They were, you know, like walking past us at such and such point and everything like that. See, it slips your mind. Just simple case of that. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, like I said, this is the end of it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.